what I had been doing. I was doing P90X at home.
Nice.
So I still was doing.
I'm not even gonna lie.
Those were hard.
The ab burners of the
yoga.
P90X and the yoga was hard.
Like the first 30 minutes, you're in a lunge.
I would like to see if I can't find a set of like the P90X DVDs and like it'd be fun to go back and do it because that's what the fitness was at the time.
Yes.
Like I remember so many people having like great results with P90X, and really it was like the start of CrossFit basically because it was high intensity stuff.
Well, that's what I was doing at home,
but
and I had a treadmill, and I.
All right, what's up, fit friends? What's up, fit friends? Podcast number 1, okay. We thought that we would go a little bit into our backstory and delve as deep as we can into it. So
getting to know us.
Yeah, you guys getting to know us.
A little better,
so,
a little deeper.
We've never really delved into our backstory a whole bunch or life story at all. So, yeah, we thought it would be good. It's going to be a open conversation, as open as we can. I don't know. We're pretty transparent. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions afterwards, make sure to post them in the comments. But, yeah, it'll be fun. This one's about Whitney. The next one will be about me. So here we go. So, where did your fitness journey start?
Elementary school. I was crazy.
Okay, how so?
If you guys are of my era, early 80s baby, we had the presidential award and the fitness stuff that they did in elementary school, the running. I don't even remember if the V-sit or the stretching was part of it at that point.
It was when I was in school.
But I remember the running. I always loved running. Did gymnastics. I know I don't anymore. What else did I into high school I played softball, but I ran track, through elementary school into middle school. I wrote a blog about it. I was the one who on Saturday mornings would do like step aerobics in our living room and wake my mom up. Like if you guys have ever done step aerobics, that thunk, 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 thunk. I did jazzercise with my mom. Like I've done it at all, right? I loved being active from a young age. We would play outside in my neighborhood growing up, capture the flag all over. Behind our school was woods, so we'd play back there. I don't know, I've always been into fitness. I just didn't know it at the time. It was just fun. And as I got older, it was a release more so than anything.
Okay. Where do you think that fitness bug came from?
I honestly have no idea because my mom was never really super active. I mean, obviously I did jazzercise with her, but she never went to a gym that I saw. My dad was always active, but it was not fitness. It was like hiking and stuff like that and climbing. So I'm not really sure, honestly. Like people in my family think I'm crazy because I'm one of the few who actually enjoy doing this.
Okay, so none of your family did any sort of fitness at all?
No.
Is your family, I've met a lot of them obviously, but would you say that your family is inherently fit?
No. On my dad's side, when my dad was active, but most of my dad's brothers and sisters, he's one of 9,
Jeez.
Had a lot of health issues. Several of them have already passed. And he's not in very good health right now. So and my mom's side, I mean, no.
Yeah. Well, your mom has taken a huge step in her health and
Yeah.
fitness.
Oh, yeah,
in the
100%.
at least since I've known you. She's been on a constant health journey
Yeah.
since then. So
100%.
But she wasn't like that, you growing up?
She was definitely in the era of the less you eat, the better. The diet
That's
mindset,
fair.
yeah. Low fat, low sugar, low calories, we grew up with that. And of course, we also grew up with Little Debbie chocolate round cakes
Star
and
Crunch, man.
oatmeal
Star Crunch was
pies.
the way. Loved Star Crunch. Oh, man, and the Nutter Butter bars, those were my jam.
Yeah. I like the fudge rounds.
I had some of those, too. You guys will hear some of that in my story, too. So, childhood, you've always been active. Is that, I know you moved around a lot, parents, military, stuff like that. Was that from every place that you went? Was it like, did you play sports in your school and all that sort of stuff as you moved around, or?
Well, I didn't, once I entered elementary school, really third grade on, I was in the same area.
Okay.
I was born in Charleston in South Carolina. When I was 5, my parents divorced and my mom married a military guy, and we moved to California. And I only lived there like kindergarten, first and second grade. And then we moved back to Virginia. I say back to Virginia. We moved to Virginia. So 3rd, 4th, and 5th was elementary school here, well, Northern Virginia. Middle school was the same middle school, high school. So yeah, when we moved here, I played sports. But in California, everything was outside. We played like handball on the wall. And then what's the one with the tether? Where you hit the ball around and had to go around in circles.
Tetherball.
We did that.
That's really old.
Yeah, I'm aging myself. Hi.
Yeah, handball is basically like racquetball, but you use the palm of your hand.
With like the big like volleyball on the end of a rope, right? That's the one I'm thinking of. You're gonna have to
you're thinking of tetherball.
But you're gonna have to think of handball with the
handball. You're hitting your hand.
up
against the wall. It's basically like racquetball.
Yeah, and dodgeball. I mean, we always did stuff like that. It was just, I feel like growing up, our recess PE was always active like that, and I hate how it is now. I don't feel like it's the same. Like I did double dutch. I did double dutch like you couldn't believe. I loved that. But I feel like people come in now and we're like, okay, do you know how to jump rope? And they're like, no, we don't do that in school. I'm like, what?
Oh my gosh.
How do you not jump right?
Like, it is amazing. I've never seen 16, 17, 18-year-olds that have never jump roped in their entire life. Ever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. We did the same thing.
I wonder if I could still double dutch. I wonder if I'd be.
Maybe we'll have to try. Get some battle ropes or something.
Oh my gosh. Might as well put myself regular jump rope.
We can get a couple of the big
ones.
Yeah, the heavy. That'd be fun. A little challenge. So what sports did you play? Obviously athletic. You enjoyed fitness in general. So I would assume that led you to a lot of different sports. What did you?
Well, I played basketball for 1 season. I was awful at it. I was so awful. I was fast. I was little and fast, and so they wanted me to be point guard, which is when you get the ball and run it down the court. But I ended up constantly kicking it down the court because I wasn't that coordinated at dribbling and running. So I played 1 season. I think the whole season I made like 6 or 8 points. That was fantastic. So I did not play again. I ran track all 3 years of middle school.
What did you do in track?
I ran the mile and hurdles.
Like 100-meter hurdles?
Yeah.
Hurdles? Okay.
It was fun.
Small and springy?
Yes. I don't know if I could do it now. Thunk. Well, there's Whitney on the ground. I never tripped. I never tripped on the hurdles, ever.
Good.
Yeah.
So what other sports? So
softball in high school. I only played a couple years. I had like this, vision in high school that I wanted to be out of high school and into college as fast as I could so I could finish college and get into my adult career because I wanted to be an adult. I tell everyone now, don't rush it. So I only played my freshman and sophomore year because we had block scheduling at my high school. So junior and senior year, I went only half the day and then worked the rest of the day. And then half my senior year, I finished the first half, and then I did community college courses my second half. So I didn't play sports my junior or senior year. And then when I went to college, I joined a sorority and we played flag football. That was fun. I was not very good at catching the ball, like running and catching. That just eluded me, but I was a good running back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Small and fast.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
When in high school, my nickname on the softball team was Peanut. I was the leadoff hitter, and she always made me steal second base. Now, if you ask me to slide into a base now, I would be terrified to do it.
So I'm curious where the name Peanut came from.
Because I was small and fast. I don't know. That's what she called
But
me.
peanuts are small, but they're not fast. They just
How
lay
do you
there.
know? How do you know
Because
they're
they
not
lay
fast?
there.
They might be fast. I don't. That's what she called me.
Okay. It's the softball, flag football.
I wonder if I still have my helmet that has that on it.
Anything else? Any other sports?
I don't think so. I mean, we played in my high school. We played sports in like PE, recess, whatever. I guess we didn't have recess. PE.
Yeah.
I tried my hand at soccer. I was terrible at that. You know, like playing basketball when I was running and kicking the ball, you'd think that would translate. No, it was like I'd try to run and I'd like hit the top of the ball and yeah. We did golf in high school. I was pretty good at driving.
Okay. Clearly, that was a skill that you lost.
Yeah. Well, we only did it like one class.
We found that out when we went to Top Golf one night with a bunch of friends, and yeah, that was a fun night.
I don't think anything else. I played kickball like on a league team when I was older.
I've never done that actually. I played just with friends, but I've never played in a kickball league.
Well, when I moved here, so I lived in Northern Virginia from third grade on, so eight-ish. I graduated in 2000. There you go. You guys can figure out how old I am.
Yes, it's such a mystery.
No, it's really. Graduated high school in 2000, and I came down to Newport News to CNU, Christopher Newport University, for school. I knew I wanted to be a law enforcement officer. That's what my mom did. And I was on like this fast track to do it. So I graduated college in 3.5 years. I worked at a bank throughout that. Still, I had a gym membership to Gold's Gym. I couldn't remember. It's
that alone
ages
shows
me.
her age. There is no more Gold's Gym, at least in this area.
We saw one in Culpeper. Remember?
Yeah, that's not in this
area. But I was
area.
like, I feel like we just went back like years.
Yeah. Yeah, Gold's Gym is not a thing here anymore.
I tried my hand at the spin classes.
Okay.
And I hated it.
Why?
I don't know. And my knees didn't like it. So I ran and did Gold's Gym. So then.
And this was in college?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then after college, I got a job with the federal government, criminal investigator, moved back to Northern Virginia, still had a Gold's Gym membership. I would go in and work, back and by and legs and tries or whatever it was. I befriended a whole bunch of the guys at the gym, so they would give me stuff to do. So I just and then I would take like their fitness classes there. And I think when I moved back is when my mom and I did jazzercise together. She wanted me to go. Okay. They wanted me to be an instructor, okay?
That doesn't surprise
if y'all know me at all. I still remember one of the dances. Not the whole thing, just part of it.
That's funny.
But for that, you had to do, like, we went through training, and then quarterly, twice a year? I don't remember. We had to do a 1.5 mile run, as many push-ups as you can do in a minute, as many sit-ups as you can do in a minute, and then your max V-sit.
That's such a
I know.
weird one for me.
It is.
What
I
does
know.
your flexibility really have to do with anything fitness
I don't
related?
know. I can tell you this though. I will tell you this. This stands out to me a lot. The 1.5 mile run for me was always very hard to get. Like, I always wanted to be the best, right? I had to be in the top percentile because it's different percentiles for your age and age and sex. For where you ended up with each one, like how many you could do. Like push-ups were never an issue for me. I guess that's not surprising because I'm still pretty good at them. Push-ups and sit-ups I could do no problem. But the 1.5 mile, for whatever reason, I guess I didn't like it. I'd had knee surgery on one knee by that point. And before, I guess it was after I moved here is when I tore my ACL and my meniscus.
Okay.
Because I started working in DC. I was up there. I guess I started with the government 2004. 2008, I shifted to another agency, the Department of Defense. And I guess I moved down here in 2010 or 12. I don't remember. I really don't remember. It all runs together when you just get to a certain point. But I ended up moving down here with DOD and going back up for a Tough Mudder race, Tough Mudder, and tore my ACL and meniscus we hadn't even started the race yet. Like, to get to the starting line, you climb over this 6 foot tall fence. 6 foot fall. That was a lot of F's.
English is hard.
I hadn't been doing CrossFit yet. I surprised myself by being able to get up and over by myself. And of course, the guys on the team were like, "We'll help you." And I'm like, "No, darn it, I wanted to do it myself."
You're a strong, independent woman.
Came off the other side and just kind of let myself go. And it was muddy at the bottom. And my foot went that way and my knee went this way. And it was excruciating. Like, I literally was just sitting on the ground like, oh my gosh, I can't stand up. And then thinking, oh my gosh, someone's going to come over on top of me. And I can't remember her name, but I can picture her face standing in front of me, looking at me like, get up. Like, what are you doing? Why are you on the ground? And I'm like, you need to help me. I can't get up. And she pulled me up and I went to take a step. It was my left knee and I just collapsed. So I hadn't even started the race yet. So when I say like I've run a Tough Mudder, no, I climbed a fence and tore my ACL and watched a Tough Mudder. So I literally sat on the sidelines with ice. By the time I got home, my knee down to my ankle was purple and swollen. I was in 2013. So that was 11 years ago. So I had moved down here before then, obviously. I don't remember when though. Anyway, that's
irrelevant at this point.
By the time I had surgery and recovered, what I had been doing, I was doing P90X at home.
Nice.
So I still was doing.
I'm not even gonna lie.
Those were hard.
The ab burners of the
yoga.
P90X and the yoga was hard.
Like the first 30 minutes, you're in a lunch.
I would like to see if I can't find a set of like the P90X DVDs and like it'd be fun to go back and do it because that's what the fitness was at the time.
Yes.
Like I remember so many people having like great results with P90X, and really it was like the start of CrossFit basically because it was high intensity stuff.
Well, that's what I was doing at home,
but
and I had a treadmill, and I would do like sprints on my treadmill and come off at a certain time doing like jump squats and stuff like that. So really, like I guess you could say I was doing CrossFit before I found CrossFit. But for a long time, I dated this guy. Part of the reason why I moved down here. I mean, I'm glad because things worked out. But he was like, "Oh, CrossFit is stupid. It's a cult. It's meatheads and blah, 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 blah." So
to be fair,
I know at the time it
back
was.
in 2012, 2013, it was a little bit like that.
Well,
the culture has changed a lot in the past 5-6 years.
Well, that's what I've been doing. P90, basically CrossFit at home. And it took me, I think, 6 months of recovery. My insurance stopped paying for physical therapy, even though they said I still needed it, but it was fine. And I started doing P90X and doing my stuff at home, and I was like, it's not the same. Like, it didn't feel the same. I wasn't pushing myself. I at all, like in any way, shape, or form. And my mom, of all things, found a Whole30 like nutrition seminar at a CrossFit gym, like like 5 minutes from my house. My mom, who still lived in Northern Virginia, and I'm living in Virginia Beach, and she's like, let's go to this Whole30 seminar.
I will say your mom is pretty notorious for just finding things and sending things.
Yes.
Hey, let's do this, or you should check this out, or
You're not
random
wrong.
stuff just shows up at our house. It's awesome. Love you, Mom, if you watch this.
Truth. I'm very thankful for that, because then it made me, I started researching the CrossFit gym. I reached out to them, and I probably could still find my messages back and forth about starting foundations or fundamentals or whatever they called them, and showing up. And I just remember walking into this gym, and the first door I walked in, there's a huge pull-up bar right in front of,
There's a desk there.
of me, and it's just like, where do I go?
Right.
So I know how intimidating it can be, because it took me a lot of going back and forth with one of the owners and the coaches of that gym before I finally was like, okay, fine, let's do this. Let's see what it's about.
Yeah.
And I can tell you from the first workout, I was hooked. I think it was 3 days of fundamentals. I know I worked with Andy and then his wife at the time, Jillian, and I think I worked with Ryan, and they're still all, well, Ryan and Andy are still the owners of that gym. And I just remember Ryan, the small green boxes that are like that tall. I'm freezing, by the way. It's freezing in here.
I'm sorry. You want a hoodie?
Maybe. Going to jump on it, and I was terrified because, of course, I had just come back from tearing my knee. And he's like, just jump on the box. And I just remember like kind of backpedaling and finally doing it and being like, okay, I can do this. So for any of you watching who are like, oh, there's no way I could ever box jump, like, and you look at people and you're like, there's no way you were afraid of box jump. I was afraid of box jumping on something like this high. So we all start somewhere.
Facts.
So that's how I started I still remember my first CrossFit workout, actually.
What was your first CrossFit workout?
Jackie. It was Jackie. The 1,000-meter row, 50 empty barbell thrusters, 30 pull-ups. I went balls to the wall on the 1,000-meter row because I didn't know any better.
You don't know what you don't know.
The 50 barbell thrusters, on one of them on the way down, I hit myself right here with the barbell. And then I used the big, thick green band, probably times 2, to do my 30 pull-ups. Because at the time, it was, you're going to be on the bar. It wasn't ring rows. It wasn't.
There was no scales back then.
Yeah.
It was
you're doing
everything.
This, or,
balls to the wall, full send every workout, or you didn't work out and it didn't count.
Yeah.
So.
And I remember going home, laying on the floor in front of my bathroom for about 20 minutes, trying not to puke, and then going back the next day. And I haven't stopped since.
Nice.
I've gotten smarter. And now I love Jackie. Now I know how to
pace.
Yeah.
How to actually
how to approach it.
Yeah, how to approach a workout like that. Yeah.
I also know how to coach it so people aren't killing themselves in the row and getting off going, oh, I gotta do what now?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you mentioned that you went to a Whole30 seminar at that first gym.
Yeah.
How has nutrition played a factor in your training from then until kind of now?
I don't think I ever thought about it.
So where was your nutrition before that?
I think I was still vegan then.
Okay,
so I
you
did
went
like,
through a
I
vegan
think,
stage.
yes, I went through a vegetarian and then a vegan stage. So I had very bad hormonal acne, like very like cystic acne. It was like all over my chin. I would like cake makeup on, and then when I would get home, I would wash it off and then just stay home. I wouldn't go anywhere. Like I hated it. I had hormonal issues. I was on birth control for a long time, and then decided to, I think when I came back from Kuwait, I decided I was done with birth control. And I was trying to regulate myself. Well, so I think back, it's taking me back to where I lived at the time. Like I had a juicer, and I would do like the beet juice and like all of that. You guys, if you've
That
ever
sounds disgusting.
eaten or drank beets or anything like that, and you don't know, your poop and your pee are going to be bright red, because I seriously thought I was bleeding poop out of my butt. So fair warning. I was like, oh my gosh, am I sick? What's happening? And then I Googled it, and it's just beets. But yeah, I went through like a juicing period. Like I literally was trying everything to like clear up my acne myself, because my dermatologist wanted me to go on Accutane. And I was,
of course, because
yes,
let's do drugs
yes.
and harsh
And that,
chemicals and stuff
like,
instead of
it dries
treating.
your skin out. You have to do 2 forms of birth control. At the time, I was not seeing anybody, so I wasn't having sex, TMI, whatever. Story of my life. But I was just like, you know what? I don't want to do that. Let me figure it out myself. And I'm pretty sure I gave myself a year to figure it out, because so as a vegetarian, I was one of those, like, I ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And then, like, the frozen meals.
So, the healthy kind.
Yes, of course. And then when I went vegan, it was a little bit harder. I ate a lot of tofu. Oh, I don't even know how.
That sounds
I don't
gross.
even know myself anymore. I don't even know who that Whitney was. Ugh.
I've never tasted tofu, but it looks like jellied meat, and that sounds disgusting.
Well, I can remember juicing one day and calling my mom and just being like, if I take anything else out of my diet trying to heal myself, I am going to be eating dirt. Like, literally. And I just in tears. Like, I can remember it was a Halloween, and I was just like, I don't even need a mask. People are going to be scared of me with my face, my acne. It's going to make me cry. It was bad. It was so bad.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of pictures from then, because I didn't like it. I didn't like what I looked like. I hated looking at myself in the mirror. And I did, like, actually, during all of this is when I had my knee surgery. And the night before is when I don't even think I had no-bake cookies. I think I had made vegan, like, peanut butter cups.
Okay.
I had not Susan Summers, Christina Applegate, or there's a blonde lady, I can't think of her name, a celebrity. She has a vegan, like, cookbook, and I always did the sweet treats in there, because I love chocolate, sugar, all that stuff. And I was eating it nonstop, and I had those the night before for dinner, something like that, before my surgery.
Awesome.
And I came out of it in such a, like...
Sounds like such a solid plan.
Right? I was like, you guys literally need to give me food. And they're like, your blood sugar's through the roof. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm having an attack. Like, hypoglycemic attack. Like, I needed food. And I don't remember if it was Whole30 or something. I did something. I don't remember if it was a course or something, but it was still within that year, trying to figure out my face. I did a sugar detox, a 7-day sugar detox. Something I'm sure I found online, Facebook, something. And within the first 3 days, my face started clearing up. So just from having, like, cutting out every night the sweet treats I was having.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Amazing.
And then I started dating a guy, and he was a big meat eater, and he made bacon in the oven. And just the smell of bacon was my gateway drug back to eating meat. We still make bacon that way, by the way. Thanks, Rory, if you're ever out there and watching this. And that, like, I still, at that time, I ate vegetables and stuff like that, but I definitely went more natural. I cut out the frozen meals. I was cooking for myself. I know you're surprised by that.
I am surprised by that.
Yeah. I lived by myself, so I had to. I would make like the egg,
survive,
muffins, bacon, stuff like that. And I did a lot of sweet potatoes, but I cut out a lot of the sugar, and it literally, like, my hormones, evened out. My cycle was like every 28 days. My acne went away. My mood swings went away. It was crazy. And that's right. I think right around the time I was like, you know what, I want to help other people do this. And I started becoming a health coach and taking classes on hormones and getting certified where I needed to. Because it was a 4 or 5 year journey, vegetarian, vegan, the sugar detox, like all of it. It was just like, I was addicted to sugar. Like, that's what I wanted. Yeah.
I'm familiar.
Right? Like, yeah, like, It was like, oh, there's these sweet treats in my cabinet, but let me make dinner. It's like, nope. Oh, whoops, I ate these whole things and now I'm not hungry. Like, it's a wonder I wasn't bigger than I was, the way that I ate.
Yeah. Genetics
yeah.
is a very real thing.
Yeah. But I was also still doing CrossFit during that time, right? Like so I started in 2014 and I've never done anything else but CrossFit since then. So this was my 10th year doing it, going into my 11th year, since we're almost at the end of 2024.
I know, it's crazy. This year's flown by.
But yeah, so now when you and I met, I was still eating a lot of carbs, more paleo than anything, to call it.
Yeah.
It had oatmeal in the
paleo.
morning.
You had oatmeal. You drank.
Ate
your cold brew coffee.
Chicken and
chicken,
sweet potatoes, bananas.
Yeah, occasionally rice.
Yeah. But I know for a lot of my workouts, I would go and push, and then it would make me so upset and sick to my stomach. I would spend a lot of time in the bathroom afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, sorry guys, like, try not to either throw up or have it come out the other end. I don't know. It was
a little bit different culture too. At the gym.
You're not wrong.
At the gym that you were at.
Yeah. It was definitely like
it was
push
very,
hard,
very competitive.
or go home.
Still full send.
Yeah.
At that time.
And then I tried going keto, because you were basically like, if we're dating and I'm cooking for you, I'm not cooking two things.
Fact.
And I wasn't a huge fan of keto.
That might have been verbatim.
I know. Wasn't a huge fan of keto. I didn't have a lot of energy, but I don't think I did it 100% right.
No, probably not. Most people don't.
And he was more carnivore. And probably after one of my female friends posted that she went carnivore and how it helped with her is when I was like, all right, let's try this and see how I feel.
Yeah, that was a couple years.
2019,
that was
2020?
Sometime around then. Yeah, we were living in Cobblewood.
I probably have a blog post about it, experimenting with it. And at first it was hard because I have a very fast metabolism. I'm hungry constantly. Ask Nick. So I had to make sure that I was having enough fat to sustain it, to be able to have the energy and be able to work out. And once I figured it out, I was able to go longer in between eating. And it felt good. Like, my workouts felt good. I felt energized. I felt stronger. And I wasn't having the issues of, oh my gosh, my stomach hurts after the bathroom or after the workouts and having to spend time in the bathroom. I still have a couple days, but I think it's when we eat more carbs and I come in and try to push.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't know, it's made a world of difference. And I tried staying carnivore when I was pregnant, but all I wanted was Moe's, queso, and chips.
Chipotle ranch.
Chipotle ranch dressing.
Yeah.
I did pretty well, but there's just some days it was like, I cannot eat another burger. Like, I want something else. I couldn't eat eggs. Eggs were out, and we were eating a lot of eggs.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that I don't get very creative with the food, and that's my fault for sure. And that's something that
easy. We have such a busy schedule; it's hard.
Yeah, something I need to work on is getting a little bit more creative and doing like crock pot stuff and.
Oh, we have been.
I know,
yeah.
But stuff like that, so that is easy and gives us a little bit of variety. Because I'm a creature of habit and can absolutely just, for the most part, eat the same stuff with little variation. So, and you're not.
Steaks thawed.
That does sound good.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Dang it, we'll have to have it tomorrow.
So, what do you think has been the biggest change for you since starting CrossFit?
Well, when I was 22 and starting my federal law enforcement journey, of course, at training, you have to do strict pull-ups, and I never could, ever. I was the person they had to put up there and then have two guys on either side to help me lift myself up. So when I started CrossFit, that was my thing. I was like, I'm getting pull-ups, whether it's the last thing I do. And I did a lot of the stuff that I give as scales here is what I did to get mine. But I came in an open gym and did it myself.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I want to learn this. I want to get stronger. And that's like the strict part of it for me is what's changed a lot. It's like, I don't want to hurt myself, hurt somebody else trying to get them, okay, you can do this because you can do this, but let's get you stronger first and get the muscles built. So that's part of it. You know, being in my 30s, being able to do, at the time when I started, being able to do strict pull-ups from 22, like, you know, like as I've gotten older, I've gotten wiser, but
and fitter,
but stronger, fitter. My upper body strength is definitely, like, I've always been lower body dominant. Being able to what?
Nothing.
Being able to do things that I couldn't when I was younger. I can remember coming back from Kuwait and my backpack being so heavy that I could not get it up and into the overhead bin by myself. One of the guys had to help me. Not being able to do it. It was too heavy. And I was like, I don't ever want that to be me again. And so
it's got to be a crappy feeling,
right? I mean, granted, I couldn't do it with a 185-pound bar with Alyssa, but that's a little different.
185 pounds, backpack, slightly different.
But I mean, that's been the biggest change. Is there's, you know, it's also been, I was very competitive when I started. I wanted to be the best. I wanted to be the fastest. I wanted to be the strongest. And I wish I would have done it a little differently. I think everybody says that, coming in and being a little bit smarter about it. And I'm thankful that the gym I went to shifted that. They started doing tiers. So like where we do RX, intermediate, beginner, they did tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Okay. And in order to do tier 1, you need to be able to do these things, or at least the majority of these things. They kind of had a list of that, and that was helpful. So it's like, okay, well, I can't do X, Y, or Z, so I'm going to do tier 2.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that helped. But I think getting pregnant and then having the emergency C-section and postpartum and being smart about how I came back, I wish I would have done that to start. I think that maybe things would have progressed a little differently, faster. But yeah, I guess mindset has changed.
Well, I think it was, I mean, like I said, 2013, 2014 was a completely different culture in CrossFit than it is now. Yeah. So it was almost impossible, if you were going to fit in and make friends doing CrossFit and stuff like that, for you to take the route that we kind of stress now, where build up that foundation, move well before. I'm not sure that would have been allowed at like the original gyms and stuff that I went to. You know, so if your gym was anything like the gyms that I went to, I mean, that was almost impossible. Yeah. But watching your body change from Gabriel and postpartum and stuff, and watching how you have come back, I mean, I think that was the smartest thing that you could have done.
Yeah. What does that mean?
I think it's a great path for you to set, especially considering how many pregnant women we have in here now. Yeah. That hopefully they'll take after you with that and being able to lead from the front, because
well,
seeing some stuff that we've seen on social medias and stuff like that, with people that have come back after having kids and just how quickly they jump back into doing things at weights that arguably maybe they shouldn't be doing, but definitely 95% of women should not be doing. And to see women doing that and then aspiring to be like that person, it's kind of upsetting. I mean, I see it as like, if you have a platform like that, it's your responsibility to be the best role model that you can be. And there's been some that just haven't been.
Well, I mean, it's hard because we live in a bounce back society, right? Yeah. Like they weigh you every appointment you go to when you're pregnant. And then you have very little postpartum care. I think you have a 6-week appointment and they're like, oh, you're blessed, you can start everything. And you're just like,
yeah.
I mean, when I started coming back, I probably scaled more after having him in my emergency C-section than I did in my third trimester. Like, because, you know, people, you're just like, oh, cool, I can come back. And then it's just like, no, like, nothing, like, everything's still healing. And not just, like, externally for me with a C-section, but internally, right? We just had this conversation. We did back squats this last 8-week cycle. And when I first started coming back and doing them, I wanted to get right back into the weight that I was doing before. And my lower back hurt every time. Like, it didn't matter what weight I did. So I went and saw Onward Physical Therapy, give them a shout out, Kirsten, and I did not have any diastasis, thankfully. And it wasn't anything in regards to being pregnant. It was just, I think I just overdid it, trying to come back too fast in that regard. Like, everything else, I kind of took it slower, but I was like, oh, back squats, I can do back squats, I'm strong. And I needed to relearn how to squat keeping everything tucked. Because when you're pregnant, everything kind of shifts anyway. And I did them to a box, and I don't think that I thought about, like, how I was doing them. Not that I ever did them heavy when I was pregnant, but just naturally, I think I just hyperextended trying to, like, get out of it.
Yeah.
So I dropped my weight down as we were doing it and worked on rebuilding my strength in the right position.
Right.
And we just retested it Thursday, and I was able to do my old 1 rep postpartum, 3 years postpartum. It's taken me 3 years to get back there with no pain. But that's the
huge.
Problem, right? Like, but that's the problem, is that we want to be back there right away.
Of course.
And
everybody wants a pill.
Right. And I breastfed for a long time. Okay. It's probably been since June this year. So he was almost 3 when I stopped breastfeeding.
2.5 probably.
So, for the first year, I don't think I worried about anything. I did a lot of strict stuff. I did a lot of core rebuilding, not like overdoing it. I didn't even do sit-ups right away.
Everything back.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, I don't think you did a single, like, RX workout for at least the first year. And
that's like, and that, I just see, like, that mindset is because you want to hit RX. You want to be the best. You want to be the fastest, the fittest, the strongest. And you have that mindset. And for me, it was like, no, like, I want to have longevity. I don't want to pee myself for the rest of my life. I don't want to not be able to get up and down off the ground with Gabriel because I'm either injured. And I think that's the other thing is, since I went back and taught myself how to be in the right movements, I haven't peed myself in double under since then.
That was awesome.
Which is another thing, because that there would be days where it's like double unders. Oh, let me throw a pad on because I'm gonna pee myself. And some days I would, and some days I wouldn't. And I'm pretty sure since every double under, we just did a workout with 300 double unders. Didn't pee myself once. Didn't even have like the oh crap, it's coming.
That's awesome.
So just, I don't know, taking the step back and being smart about it coming back. And then also, like, looking at it now is like, my goal now is not, I'm not competing. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to go to the games. Like, my goal is to be able to keep up with Malachi and Gabriel. And if I'm so sore that I can't get up and down off the ground, or I injure myself and I can't do those things, then I'm doing it wrong.
Right.
So if there's a workout that I'm like, you know what, that doesn't feel right, I'm not going to be in the stimulus, it's too heavy, it's whatever the case may be, then I scale it back. And I think more people need that mindset. Is like, are you here to be fit for your life? Or are you competing? Like, those are two different paths. Right?
100%.
Like,
yeah. And I feel like a lot of people come in and they try and compete with their friends and stuff like that. And you hear me say it all the time, like, we're not giving out any trophies here.
Yeah.
Like, we're not giving out medals.
Yeah.
Like, the goal is for you to live to lift another day, not for you to get the fastest or heaviest weight on the board for that day, because honestly, who gives a shit?
Right. And no one's going to remember.
Yeah.
Like, But if you come in and you tear something because you pushed too long and then you're out for 6 months injured, like people are going to remember that.
Yeah.
Like
That's one of the hardest. I feel like that's one of the hardest things is the ego.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you are an athlete and you know where you have been.
Yes.
And then you come back in after that and you're not there anymore.
Yeah.
Like that right there is the biggest
100%.
ego check in the world. It's one thing if you have no idea where you've been, where you're going, what this is going to do for you, but it's something completely different when you have to take a step back and be like, okay, life be lifing, and I need to take a step back so I can get it back on track.
Yep.
And I absolutely agree. I think more people should take that step back and think about why they're in there.
I mean, I had to. I still was in the competitive mindset. Like I'm a competitor. Like I want that's the way of the world.
Right.
That's what we grew up with. Like
for sure. I mean, especially in CrossFit.
First, you were last.
And especially in CrossFit, it was like that was absolutely the thing. It's like,
to be fair, a lot of workouts I come in last. It's fine.
cool. So what are like your dreams going forward for like the gym and just your future? Like what are the stuff that, what are you looking forward to?
For myself or the gym? Or both?
Both.
I don't know. I want to keep, like I want to get my endurance better. I don't want to hear it, Scott. I know I used to be an endurance athlete. I ran a marathon. I didn't throw that in there. I ran lots of half marathons. Just one marathon though. The Marine Corps marathon. It was awesome. Because people told me I couldn't. I have athletic induced asthma and people were like, you won't be able to run a marathon. So I did it. So there. But just one. That's it. That was enough. Just being able to keep coming back and having fun and like every day I think I learned something new about like training and myself, and I think that's fun. And being like, oh, this weight was heavy, XYZ time ago, and then being able to do it in a workout and being like, oh, like I am getting stronger. Like I still get anxiety over workouts. Ask Nick.
Yeah, it is pretty funny actually. Like, it's just a workout.
I know, but I think taking a step back maybe from the strength side and working on my endurance, I think that would be longevity-wise smart.
For sure. I mean, how strong is strong enough?
I know.
It's like realistically, like what sort of stuff in life, if you're here for longevity, like what sort of realistic things are you going to see?
Yeah. I mean, I might have to back squat you up out of water or something. I don't know. I could back squat you.
You could back squat me, but how are you going to get me to the back squat? The only way that you would have, like the only realistic way is I passed out and you have to get me into a car or something like that.
Yeah.
Are you able to get me up to your shoulder to carry me there?
Pre-CrossFit, I was able to do that with someone else that shall not be mentioned. And I'll tell you that story offline. But,
okay. Okay.
So I think if I could do it then, I could do it now.
Okay. So, anyways, back to dreams and goals. So you want to work on your endurance.
Gym-wise, I mean, I love the trajectory we're on. We're building, bringing in new people. Our goal is just to change people's lives, right? Like give them our values, our freedom, family, faith, and fun, and the freedom to be able to do what you want, right? Like if you're unable to do the things that you want to do because you are not fit enough to do them, or you're sick and on medication, or whatever the case may be, like that's not freedom, right? You're tied to the medicine or your chair at home or whatever. I want to change that in people's lives. And hearing like someone come in and tell us that their A1C is down almost 2 whole points in 2 weeks of doing CrossFit, that's huge, right? Like that's life changing. And being able to give that to people, not just like CrossFit wise, but nutrition, health coaching. I You know, like I see all, you know, you see the funny like videos that people do on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and it's like, oh, you're just a CrossFit coach. I'll tell you what, like we are counselors. We know some of
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I
some
mean, it's
things
true.
about people, and like, and that's good. Like that's what we want. Like we want you guys to be comfortable enough to come tell us the things that we know,
Yeah,
and be
I mean,
like that sounding board and like life coaches, almost. Are you okay, Saber?
Our dog's down here freaked out over something.
I would like ultimately to be more on like the business side of it and being like pulling people in and being able to build our coaching staff, where we are not coaching the majority of the classes. That would be great.
Agree.
But we're getting there. I mean, we're 4 years in as of Monday.
2 days from now.
Yeah. And it has changed a lot since we took over, for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, looking back at some of the reports and stuff like that, and it has changed tremendously. It's something we have to keep
Reminding ourselves
of, because
Especially me.
you get into the grind of it, and you're just like, ugh, like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens when you own a business, for sure.
Yeah. We have good days and bad days.
What? We're human?
We have days that we look at people and we're like, hey, you want to buy a gym? Full disclosure. We haven't seriously looked into it yet, though, so don't worry.
Okay, so what do you see in the future for yourself?
Be more specific.
I don't know, like, what are things that you're excited about? Like, for you, outside of the gym, just like personal stuff that you want to work on, where you want to grow?
I'm still figuring that out. I'm in my figure it out era.
Yeah.
It has not been, I have not had a lot of time for myself, as you well know. So I'm still figuring that out. I don't know, like my life has been this, like we literally bought the gym in September 2020 and found out we were pregnant December 2020 and had Gabriel September 2021. So it's been like figuring out a business, being pregnant and worried I was going to lose the baby because I had 6 miscarriages before. And then having him and having an emergency C-section and figuring that out while still running the business.
Not to mention, previous life stuff before that.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since you've done something for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's definitely time for you to figure that out and to do that.
Yeah.
At least find some semblance of relief, a place that you can go, a thing that you can do to be able to maybe turn your brain off a little bit.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. When I figure it out, I'll let you know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, I think, you have anything else?
I don't think so.
Anything else the people should know?
No.
All right.
No deep dark secrets.
No deep dark secrets. All right. Well, this is episode number 1. If you guys liked what you heard, we have more coming, and obviously we'll still be doing mine. And then we've got a whole lot of subjects and stuff that we want to talk about that I think will interest and help people. So definitely looking forward to that. If you guys like this, please give it a like, subscribe, all the normal YouTube stuff. And I think that's it. Stay fit, stay safe. We'll see you next time.
Night, y'all.